Greetings, everybody. We are about to start streaming a game of Adam, who is echobstrpr, chosen the light side. So he's at the bottom of your screen, and his opponent will be Bastian Zlorfik at the top of the screen. This is the OCS round of 8. And this is the first game. The second game will be tomorrow at the same time, 2:30 Eastern. It looks like Bastian has opted for TTO as his dark deck, and Adam has opted for echo-based operations. So this will be an interactive space game, I'm sure. That's very interesting. I'll give some thoughts on the matchup in a minute. It's not one we see frequently. Neither of these decks are super popular. They're both potentially strong in their own way. TTO, not as popular because of the counter card in relatively unprotected, but you won't see that in EBO. So he'll definitely, Bastian will have a chance to get some TTO damage through. And we see a very standard start with strike planning, walkling, and new secret base. For Adam, he's going to use strike planning to pull his generals and play them to the echo sites to set up echo base operations. Bastian, meanwhile, uses operational as planned, and his effect that he takes is combat response virtual, so that he can flash for matching ties in their pilots, or any matching ship and their pilots. So Bastian gets to go first, and he plays the Death Star from hand and Moff Jerjerrod, both of which he got to start with his starting interrupt. Operational as planned, and he'll use Jerjerrod to start pulling some sectors to set up that thing's operational. Is my I don't know if my window is being weird right now. Sorry, let me see if I can make this fit a little better. Not quite what I want. Is that too stretched? We'll see. Oh, I know why. I know what's going on. Let's do that. There we go. That looks a little better. There we go. All right. So Bastian takes a minute, looks through his reserve deck, see what's in there as he pulls that sector. So he pulls the first sector, he plays the second one from hand. That bodes for a fast TTO setup. If he can get his own system, going to Hoth is very dangerous, of course, because Haven can go there and make all of Adam's ships deploy -2, and echo-based operations makes him another -1, and so he can dump a bunch of stuff very cheap. Use the bunker text to play indoor shield, and that will probably net him Ozzel and Thrawn, most likely. He plays combat response. So thoughts on this matchup in general. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. EBO plays a lot of ships and can really get power up into the 30s and 40s, or 40s and 50s even. Whereas combat response, they're only getting up to 15 to 20 power, so could be quite easy for light to overpower dark. But if dark's running and getting their TTO damage through, while light is chasing and getting drains through, I think it's going to be a very close game. I think we're going to see someone winning in the range of 8 to 10 maybe. And I really do think this could go either way. If the Death Star has the super laser, that will help a lot, shooting down those capital ships. But it doesn't make him forfeit 0, and of course all the people on it. And so Adam just would forfeit the hit ship. And let me double check that it doesn't make him forfeit 0. Let's see. Super laser Mark II. Yeah, they're just hit. So Adam would just forfeit that hit ship to attrition. It's really best if they just have like Attentive or Attentive and Profundity as their only ships. Against EBO, the Super Laser won't be that big a deal because it'll hit the one ship and then Adam forfeits it and he still has 9 other ones. What will be, I think, most relevant in terms of their battles will be Rebel leadership. I'm sure there is Moncal Admiral in this EBO is very typical. Radis is very typical. Akbar and leaderships to cap Darkseid's destiny, because Dark's main strength in fighting in space is going to be multiple battle destinies. So they'll have Baron to add a destiny. They'll get 4 ability. They'll have Fet to add a destiny on Slave 1. The sector, the third sector, I think it's the third one, second sector, once the purple card TTO is out, can add a destiny. So Dark's a lot of times drawing 3, 4, 5 destinies in space, and if Light can limit that with leadership, I think that's a key card Bastian would want to grab so that it can start drawing a bunch of destinies and clearing out a bunch of stuff. All right, so some thoughts from the peanut gallery. Mr. Wadden says, either way, pick a winner. Okay, Bastian, just because it's Bastian. But Desai does say it's not a good matchup for TTO if these are traditional builds. I agree. I think Light's ground will be stronger. They'll be able to hold a site, and they'll be able to go to more systems with more ships and pile at whichever one outpile Darkseid. If Bastian can get a really fast start with get the purple card out, get the helper effect, so he starts pinging 3 really fast, and force Light to put a lot on table, and possibly play for drains. So Jeremy points out EBO can probably blow up the Death Star 2 with Obi and ship, and that's definitely true. A good move would be to put it inside a capital, move the capital to the Death Star, and then move Obi into the first sector right away. It's quite possible, too, that Bastian is playing some Starship weapons, both Baron's gun, but also Mianda, and Mianda shooting down Gold Leader and Gold 1 and the Tycho and Green Squadron 3 and Obi and ship, and just like shooting those down in move phase and just picking off the light starfighters could eventually net him an advantage in space to where he's the one chasing plus doing purple card damage, and takes the game. So yeah. Phil says, does Bastian have 2 times lateral damage, or will he top deck the purple card? Those are both would be important things to happen. But yeah, Sater says we have a different matchup. Huzzah! We're not seeing ISB. We're not seeing. So this is post errata. So ISB is going to look a little different. Throne Room doesn't have Walkling anymore. There are varying opinions on how strong it will be after. I think Hitco is clearly the go-to light side mains, especially post V13 with the helper. But we definitely had a meta shakeup first with the erratas, which are all on Gemp, and then we'll have another one as V13 rolls out. But yeah, I think Mianda is Bastian's main way to win. If he can just pick off people every move, every dark side move phase, and whittle down light side, that's sort of his best option, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised to have that in there. Bastian plays Decree V, which I was gonna say could be good if he has barrier, but weapons display was blanked, so it wouldn't protect for that. I can't think of what other direct damage EBO would be doing. I mean, I guess if the Death Star gets blown up and Bastion's at like 4 battlegrounds, it would reduce that, because the damage is not from your own card when it's blown up, it's from the rules, which, is kind of silly, but that is how it works. Decree V can reduce the Death Star blow up. Oh yeah, Ballistics, if he has 2 piloted snub fighters, is going to cap battle destinies in space. So Adam won't even necessarily need that leadership. And Justin points out that's where Mienda would be really clutch if he can shoot down those snub fighters so that he can keep his multiple battle destinies. Bastian drew up to 19 cards right now at 20. I think if there's a leadership. I think you grab that as Bastian. And then you pop out code clearance because you don't want him just doing the Walker light side Walker spotted card or whatever it is, the Walker Garrison, I don't know, whatever it is. It lets light just retrieve 3, and it's a used interrupt, so they can just like, if you don't have code clearance out and your grabbers use, they can just like retrieve 3 and 3PO and retrieve 3 and just do that over and over. So I think you definitely want code clearance out against EBO in case they have that Walker sided card. All right. Phil and Justin agree that Decree could just be for the Destiny draw if a spy comes down on Moth, or if he even wants to move him out but still be threatening to get a Destiny, not get overflowed, that sort of thing. Could just be for the Battle Destiny. Because, yeah, like I said, I don't know what direct damage there would be. And Adam will continue his standard setup with pulling more stuff with new secret base. He's getting the effect. Looks like he didn't grab a sight, so he must have drawn that in his hand. He's going to activate 3 in Walkling. I imagine he will be getting Haven, so he can dump out a bunch of cheap ships to Hoth. One thing to note is that Bastian did grab that leadership, so I think he was thinking the same thing of he's going to want to be getting multiple destinies in space. Hopefully he is thinking of that Blissix too, so that he can plan around to be battling where there isn't 2 snub fighters, or plan to take those out with some sort of weapon. Phil's wondering if Bastian drew to 20 just because the purple card, which still isn't out, even though the sectors have been out a couple turns, was just like at the bottom of his force, and he just kept drawing and not getting it, and couldn't find Force Push or Tarkin's Bounty or anything, and just had to keep drawing. So there we see Radis come out to complete the Echo Base operations and the Haven, which was pulled with Walkling. And I imagine we'll see light dump at least 3 ships here for very, very cheap. 1 force for that. They're all -1 with the effect to any system, and -2 to extra to Hoth with Haven. And pilots are going to be -1 with Haven, and I think all cards to space, like your deploy is -1. So even I don't know, like devices or whatever, just like weapon, like whatever, anything that costs in space, it's just deploy -1. Phil says the other thing, I guess, would be preventing Adam from moving in before he's ready. So if Bastian doesn't want to play the purple card because it gets Adam a jump on moving in to blow it up until he has answers, until he has like Amanda and gun and can shoot down anything that does move in. Masanya is strong versus Mienda. It makes -2 to all the weapon destinies. And that's not in battle. That's just all the time. Weapon destinies targeting your starships here are -2. So I think that's one you'd want to shoot down with the super laser, because even though the destinies are -2, you get 3 of them with the super laser. So -2 each, you just got to crack 4. So you need a 5 among 3 destinies that are -2. Seems doable. So he does play the code clearance. I'm sure thinking along the same line of thinking I was with that Walker sighting card. Wonder, I'd be curious to hear from these characters on what made them choose this deck. If they were, I know Adam has played a lot of WAP, and I would think that would be on Bastian's mind. Maybe he scouted Adam's list and didn't see any relatively unprotected in there ever, and thought he could out-damage it with TTO. EBO seems like an interesting choice from Adam, because if I was putting Bastian on a deck, Watto would be very high up there. And I don't think EBO is particularly good against Watto. I think Watto gets too much damage too fast, especially the current type of Watto that has lots of space that can go do the occupation stuff, and light would have to pile in front of it. The same way it does against entanglements, only dark would feel more free to run there than it does with entanglements because it has just more damage. So yeah, I think EBO is an interesting choice if you think Bastian might be playing Watto. Though maybe he has like double projection and honor and stuff to just slow down that damage. All right, so Deirdre searches, doesn't see anything. We haven't seen him pull the laser cannon or anything into hand. So, but Bastian did drop to 20, so he might have that in hand already. So Radish shuttled up to the Masanya, and Hanshui Falcon came down as well. So right now he's getting 2 Battle Destiny, a Destiny to power. He's power 14, and EBO will add 3 more in battle. So 17 Destiny to power, 2 Battle Destinies with Haven, and then Radis can either cap or add one if he... Well, no, he doesn't have the force to play leadership, so... Bastian opts not to fight there. Light side usually has multiple reacting ships. The Spiral reacts there for free, and Tycho and Green Squadron 3 reacts there for free. So it's pretty dangerous to fight right there. So Bastian opts to go to indoor until he can find another system. He has to have the purple card by now because he drew every card in his force except one that he used to grab, and then he just searched with Gergerod, and it wasn't that one. So definitely has a purple card. He puts Piet in black too, which will stop spin, but EBO doesn't usually play spin. But Piet will grab Marigic, and that's his plan for getting out of system. Is indoor shield into Piet into Marigic, which... All right, and there's the purple card. He must have verified a system in his deck. That's pretty lucky that he activated half of his deck, 12 out of 24 cards, and both Marigic and the system were in the reserve. That's nice not activating either of those. Plays a second grabber. Trying to think of what you would grab now that you have code clearance out. I think you probably just leave that open, waiting to see if he has a 3PO with it could be worse or we're doomed. And I feel like with combined fleet action, there's a possibility there's speeders, but it's more likely... Oh, so he didn't play Marigic. He didn't play a system. So he must have activated his system. What's interesting about that, though, is he did play the purple card, I guess, to get an extra Destiny at indoor if there's a fight there. If Adam drops a bunch of ships and fights, he wants that extra Battle Destiny. But he's already getting 2, and if there's 2 snubs, Blissix is capping it to 1 anyway. I think for Phil's reasoning earlier, if you don't want to let him start moving in before you're ready, I think you might even hold off on that until you can move to the system, but maybe not. I'm also surprised he didn't play Marigic here and Gergerod, but I guess he didn't want to risk losing Marigic if there's an EPP or something. It's doubtful. This combined fleet action probably is just to pull like blue 11 and cap Destinies. It's possible there's speeders, but usually you see Echo-based Garrison instead of the Admiral's Order. Oh, hey, cool. Connor is going to join me. I'm going to go over to Discord. Connor's going to join me to commentate this. He just had something. Let me start a video call with him. Okay, you'll have to mute me, Connor, on or mute the Twitch stream so I don't get an echo. Hey there, how's it going? You're not
Hey.
You're not showing up yet, but let me work on that. Pop out. Let's turn.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes. All right.
Awesome.
I don't see us yet, but we'll keep going. So Adam drains for 3 at Hoth, and Bastian loses Euthropio and Tarkin's orders both from hand, not anticipating a lot of ground drains.
So yeah, I'm obviously coming to this a little late, but this is obviously very interesting matchup, space versus space. Uh, what have you seen so far, Joe, that might indicate what sort of matchup this would be?
Both, I have not seen anything in either deck that has surprised me. They both look like very standard builds.
Is there anything? I would guess TTO is probably running EPPs on the ground. Is that what you've? I guess we haven't seen anything else on the ground other than Jerdra out there, but
Yeah, I mean, he might have an EPP maul. Usually, it'll be pretty thin in terms of ground package. Um, Phil says Tarkin's orders is interesting. My guess is if he was anticipating WAP, his system is Naboo, and one of his plans was to just Tarkin's orders drains there.
so yeah, so okay, so just trying to get a sense of the board here. So I don't see um, the super laser out yet, but because we have the rebel at the war room who prevents. Well, no, that's only at the hot system though. So if Adam were to move away from the hot system, his ships could be targeted by a super laser if it were on the table.
Yeah. One thing to note: Masania's making all weapon destinies -2, and also the super laser seems limited in its effectiveness simply because it only hits a ship. It doesn't make it -0 or anyone else. So if they had a big battle and it hits a ship, Adam just forfeits that ship and then battles
Right.
again. He just makes whatever. Bastion basically gets to choose which capital Adam forfeits, which is nice, but it's not game. He's not going to clear out a lot more than he would without. Um, it means Adam will have to spread out his guys among the different ships. So we see Rogue 3 and Wedge coming out via the Admiral's order in his hand, and he plays them to space because all space cards are deploy -1 with EBO, and so Wedge and the vehicle are both -1 each, so -2, and then he'll pay 1 to shuttle, which actually he might be able to move free with Riken, right? Yeah. Your
Yeah,
T-47s move
that
for
movement's
free.
free.
Yeah, so it'll shuttle down for free. But even if he didn't have that out, he'd pay 1 to shuttle but save 2. But yeah, so that will save him some force and shuttle down free. Oh, Bastion played Enter the Bureaucrat on Hoth, and that's nice. He'll be able to pretty much ignore that system.
So yeah, at some point Adam's probably going to have to come to him, which puts him at a bit of a disadvantage. But we also haven't seen Adam's second system yet. If he's playing, he's got him. So, well, so this is interesting. So with strike planning, it's possible he's playing Endor,
Hmm. Um,
although the activation manipulation doesn't come into play
it
this
doesn't,
game.
yeah, but you're right. That is a lot of times EBO will play that as essentially a free Twix. Um, and if that is what EBO is playing, that's one less battleground system on table, both for anyone to drain at or anyone to run to. Phil says losing the Tarkin's orders was interesting because EBO often plays it could be worse, and that can cancel it. So, um, oh, Bastion top deck control. That would have been nice to have in hand, I'm sure.
Just looking at the chats. Sorry, disappointed, Dylan. That's all just wall decoration. I haven't picked up that banjo to play it ever.
Well, now's the
So
time. I mean, I'm sure we'll have a lull in this game in a few minutes. So
there you go. We can sing the ballad of EBO versus TTO.
yeah, the O decks, the space O decks, EBO, TTO.
So many operations happening. Everyone's very busy these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but yeah, so Darkside obviously has another battleground system that they can deploy, and likely, and of course, Lightside does too. So
Kashyyyk is typical for dark, except if he's expecting EBO, it could be Naboo. Light, indoor is typical. Light's gonna go ahead and move over there so that they can set up a drain of 4 there. That's pretty easy for Darkside to battle. If they do have the super laser, to just drop any ship and the super laser and shoot that down. Even though the weapons are -2, you draw 3 of them. So if you draw, it's armor 4. You know, if you draw like, I guess you'd still have to draw fairly high. 5, 4, 3.
yeah, because 5, 4, 3
5,
is
4, 2.
12 -6, so then you're 6. Yeah.
Yeah, so 4, 4, 3, something like that. Or 5, 3, 3. Yeah, so you still got to draw decent, but.
And you know he's drawing 2, maybe 3 with an Admiral Orders there, so he might be willing to sacrifice that ship to clear out some of their space.
Yeah, but at the cost of losing the -2 to weapon destinies and Poe and Radis.
That is a high cost.
I don't know about that. Especially if he has reacting ships in hand, I probably would have moved at least one more over to the Death Star. Maybe move the Han Chui Falcon as well or something. And just leave Haven with just a single ship because you can react down to it. Bastian's going to search for Gick with Masterful Move. It's possible he plays Monarch in the deck as well.
Maybe Image of the Dark Lord V to reduce the drain
Shut down the North Ridge drain, yeah.
I mean, if he is reducing Lightside to a drain of 2 total on both ground and Hoth, that's a pretty big win against EBO.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And he does good call. Get that image. One TTO sometimes has transmission terminated, which will cancel it.
That's true.
I'm
trying to remember if the list Adam showed me had that or not. I don't recall seeing it though.
One interesting thing is I don't really care for speeders if you're not playing Echo Base Garrison because their immunity is just awful. Less than 3. It's like anything can come down and kill that and take away your ground presence. Whereas when it's less than 6 with Garrison, it's really hard to do anything to it. Right now it would be power 8 with the Hoth system in battle and immune less than 6. You can't do much to that, but immune less than 3, you're like, yeah, I'll go kill it. Okay, so red 8, that's one of the 3 reacting ships. That goes off the top. Along with Rescue and We Wish to Board at Once, which is a Obi puller. Yeah, maybe, you know what? I was going to say maybe Adam wanted to establish presence at the Death Star too, so he could deploy there and then move in to go start blowing it up.
True.
But you could always... Does he have a ship that can hold... Yeah, okay, neither of his capitals right now can hold a starship, a starfighter. So, because otherwise you could just deploy it on board, move the capital, and then move it in. But neither of these hold a ship, so it very well could be he's like, I just want to get presence there, drop a ship, and move in next turn.
As far as candidates to blow up the Death Star,
Obi and Radiant 7.
Oh yes, of course.
You can't set for stun it. Its ability 6, so it adds a bunch.
But it has no maneuver. So. I mean, I guess, the Destiny draws of the systems are...
He has to track low. He has to draw less than 2. First less than... Or he needs the helper effect, which subtracts 5 from it. If he gets out the helper effect... Oh, no, it just makes a maneuver -5, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So he'd still have to draw a 0 or a 1. If Bastian can track a 1, it would blow it up. But otherwise, he doesn't care if he loses it on the move out because at that point you probably won the game. So yeah, here's what I was thinking. I wonder what Bastian's destinies. I'm assuming he checked them with. No, he did Gerard to get the super laser before activating. Has he checked his? Oh, he used combat response. Oh no, he did. He did in control phase. Looked for one of the effects with his objectives.
Okay, so he's setting up a draw of three destinies versus his 2. So he's definitely going to get to the Masanya one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. And Kashik comes out as well, which will start the TTO damage next turn, and the helper effect. So Bastian's got a lot of good stuff going on, but he's also deployed a lot. They both have, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of cards on the table. Oh, this could be big. He no escapes control. So that could, I mean, he probably won't play it this turn, but that will make it harder for Adam to, make an approach on Kashyyyk or Endor, knowing that he has that card to either.
Right. If you've got a Mon-Cal Admiral and you're relying on leadership to cap him, and he bounces it and draws 5 destiny.
Yeah.
That's problematic.
So there's the reacting spiral, as you predicted.
We'll see if he also has Tycho.
So that's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you go for Masanya here, because it's -2 regardless who you're targeting. Masanya has lower armor and the 2 guys aboard, so... But what's big about it is he'll still have Spiral there if he wants to drop Obi and move in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. He keeps that presence there.
Bastian will need to find me and a gun quickly if he has that. Or track a 1 and have it on top during Lightside's move phase.
Will it tell us what Boba picked up from reserve?
No, because he just exchanges a card. It's any card.
Okay, so he is playing Scythe 1 to pick off
so
Obi.
Okay, so he draws 4/5/3, which will hit.
But just barely. Actually, no, by a little margin, actually. It's only armor 4. So
why didn't they didn't -2 in the I mean, it would have hit anyway, but Adam just asked the same thing in the chat. Is there a reason Masanya didn't subtract from those? I think that's a bug, but luckily it's not affecting the game state because that should. But yeah, in the chat, they should be minus. Like that should already be taken into account when it displays the weapon destiny. It's not one of those weird things where Jimp displays a total weird or whatever. It's
right. I'm not seeing anything that would prevent Bastian's weapon destinies from being subtracted or anything. So.
Yeah, just weapon destinies targeting. Maybe for some reason it's not coded as a weapon destiny. I don't know. It definitely seems like a bug, but it luckily seems like one that is not impacting stuff. It would have been bad if it had turned a miss into a hit.
Yeah, you never want something like that.
Phil says light side player draws their own movement destiny. So as long as Adam doesn't have a 1 while at this sector, Obi would be fine. So
true. I'm still a little worried as an EBO player because there are a lot of low.
Oh, it subtracted 2 from the total instead of 2 from each. Masanya is just coded to subtract from total weapon destiny instead of individual weapon destinies.
Still seems like a bug.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. But luckily, Adam is one of the people who would be fixing that, so he is aware.
True.
All right. With the total forfeit being 18 here, Bastian clearly isn't going to waste a spin or anything trying to get up to 19 total battle destiny to also clear the spiral. So he's just going to basically be trading probably both Ozzel and Fett with like getting 2 destiny unless they draw poorly, which EBO can do.
I'm wondering if maybe he has an Imperial Command.
If he can limit to 1 and yep, okay. And hope he draws less than 5. Because otherwise he'll have to lose slave 1.
So yeah, that makes sense because he couldn't risk losing presence at the Death Star because then he can drain with the spiral and probably have to defend that. Okay, so there's 5 and a 1.
Yeah, I'm sure he used Masterful to search. And he was like, do I take the image? Do I take the Gick out? Like, it's so tempting to get that 1 out and be protected from beatdowns versus reducing his drain by 1. Can be a tough call. All right, so a 3 is drawn for light side, which means Dark is immune and wins the power battle. So that's a good turn for Bastian, and I think that was tough for Adam. Splitting those up, he kind of felt, I'm guessing once Enter the Bureaucrat was out, he kind of felt like he needed to do something. There was no other systems on table besides indoor, and he was like, let me move in and threaten damage and possibly get to move into the sectors next turn. Hopefully for Adam, he has Obi and ship. We know Scythe 1 is very near the top of Bastion's deck, so he will activate it next turn, which gives Obi enough time to move in. He can't, though Mienda can double move,
right,
and shoot.
He can double move and shoot. So I don't. Yeah, as long as Bastion can like pull it out with watch your back combo.
Yeah, but even if he can't pull it out, he'll have an extra turn. Even if he uses it so it's at the bottom next turn, he'll have the extra turn with the double move to be able to catch up to it.
So it's going to be an interesting race there, and I mean, obviously, it's worth the risk if you're Adam because that's a game winner if you can get him through. But I'm wondering what's Adam's path to victory if that doesn't go through,
if he doesn't even have that right now.
Yeah.
So Bastian just drew. He did not move. He didn't have enough force to move the 2 ships over to Kashyyyk and move the Death Star and stuff. So he's not going to get that 3 TTO damage next turn. But I think he's happy with the trade he made.
For sure. So yeah, Adam's doing 2 damage here. You got to imagine he has some more space to throw. But if he's fighting at Death Star, that seems like a losing proposition right now. So maybe what Adam wants to do is start invading Kashyyyk and make... But no, because then you want to probably keep him at Endor and/or the Death Star so that, he has to fight you off of his battlegrounds and is less able to go over and start TTO damage.
So it's a drain 1 at the system because of Enter the Bureaucrat, and 1 at the site because Wedge is +1 and Image is -1. So Bastion loses and Balance Combo, and I can't shake him from hand. Balance Combo is an interesting one because I feel like that's a good one to save for regenerating characters if you're in a battle and you have to lose Fett and you can just get him back when they forfeit someone.
Yeah, it's a nice card to have.
Yeah, but he lost it from hand. I don't know why I can't shake him is in there for starship weapons. Like I guess so you can deploy Marijic or
maybe that's it. Maybe the setup is that you get maybe the Moth and Boba on his ship, and then you can shake Majeric on there while he's at Endor.
Yeah,
I love that card anyway. It's such a in the right deck anyway. It can be really really.
Yeah, I just don't see it here, especially because you don't have many capitals. So like you can't use it to get dudes on your starfighters, it pretty much is only for Slave 1 or maybe the blockade ship. But yeah, it seems like a weird TTO card other than just a high destiny card. Phil thinks Adam's path to victory is basically just taking all of space. If he can just keep chasing in space and draining, but he's going to be eating 3. If Adam can pile enough at Kashyyyk so that Bastian has to run, he's either has to run to Indoor where he can't do TTO damage, or he has to run to Hoth where you've got Haven.
So we're seeing a couple of interesting plays here. Rogue One comes down, and he doesn't put Luke on it. Instead, he starts putting more space at Death Star. I wonder if he's just preparing to put Luke on there later?
This doesn't seem like a good fight at the Death Star. You're 1 destiny to their 3, and they're immune less than 5. They can shoot the spiral if they want, or they can... I guess Bastian only gets 1 destiny because Gold Leader and Gold 1, he doesn't have the force to pay. So that's capping him. And the 2 snub fighters, that's also capping him. So,
exactly, yeah.
So 1 destiny...
So he'll lose spiral and keep the other 2 there, and then he's drawing 2...
Phil thinks maybe he's trying to bait a barrier so that he can then come down with OB and Radiant 7 and move it in.
Yeah. I take that back. Adam's only drawing 1. That's the other A-wing that adds a Battle Destiny with a snub nose. So Tycho could go into...
Tycho adds 3 to his Epic Event Destiny draws. So Tycho could move in and try and blow it up.
So he starts with 5. Take away 2 from the effect from We Shall Double Our Efforts. So he would still need a 6, right? Or no.
Destiny greater than 8. Helper effect makes it greater than 10, so you need 11. Minus his 5 is 6. Minus 1 from the sector is 5.
Oh, right.
The 3rd sector adds. We'll add 1.
Which, so he could set that up with a, Rescue in the Clouds, or maybe a Timely Walkling if he loses a high value card, high destiny card. And the other bonus is that Tycho is obviously you can't use control on him because he's not a character. Yeah.
Though you can shoot it down pretty easy right now. His maneuver is 0. So if he can't put together a Mianda gun situation, and he's got 2 turns to do it because the double move, so I think we're going to see that happen. I think it's going to get shot down. Not on this next dark turn, but the following one. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he lives, but hey, you got to try.
Yeah.
And I like that he puts down Rogue One too. Obviously Luke's not in there, but it just tells Bastian, hey, you got to move these guys or do something, because Destiny's plus maybe another pilot to add on some damage. It's kind of an interesting signal.
Mm-hmm. Whose clock are we on? Who's thinking? Adam is thinking. I think he has to abandon the Death Star. I think you move over to Kashyyyk, knowing Bastion's going to move there because of the purple card next turn, but then you've got forces there in case you want to do something. But you're going to have sitting in front of you Saber 1, Black 2, and Slave 1 all sitting in front of you at Kashyyyk. I don't know that you can fight that. I think maybe you're just kind of stalling until you see if you can blow it, but otherwise I think Adam's going to have to draw and just get a ton of ships out. Bastian has put on enough pressure. Adam has not been able to really get the big pile of stuff that EBO can sometimes get on table.
So what ships do we
Justin said, both of these players are setting up weapons display and firepower retrieval very nicely. Dylan, we have not seen Echo Base Garrison. It doesn't look like he plays it.
Wait, so I don't know if I missed any ship pulls. Oh, did I lose? connection.
And I still hear and see you. Matt Wadden, who I think has extensive TTO experience, he confirmed our math about Tycho needing a 5, but points out if Bastian has a dark time to subtract 1, that could help him stay alive an extra turn as well, especially if he's looking for me and a solution. 16 ships in this. I guess Gogolin has the deck list submitted before the match here and confirms there's 16 ships in the light side deck. We have seen 5 plus 1 died in the battle and 1 was top decked, red 8. So that's 7 of the 16 there. So there's still quite a few left. Oh,
very interesting match so far.
JNAP is on the PC, not Gogolin. Ryan thinks Echo Base Garrison is in the deck. I don't know why he wouldn't have pulled it with New Secret Base though. Maybe he just forgot? That seems, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't. If you're playing speeders, it seems like a card that should be in there. It's just, you know, pulling the Luke, making him immune less than 6. So we see 2 more ships top decked to the indoor drain, Bravo Fighter and Green Leader. And now a drain at the site. Vergence goes off the top. I don't think Dark should be draining for 3 anymore, so that's fine.
Probably wasn't going to get to use Vergence this game anyway.
So that's 9 of the 16 ships, so there's 7 left. Dark probably has the reacting ship, and maybe the blockade the one with the Destiny 6 puller.
Both players have 7 cards in hand. About an equal amount in life force as well, within a couple of cards.
Yeah, 19 dark, 18 for light, and 7 in hand. So, but dark just got its round of damage. But dark will consolidate at Kashyyyk, and then light will do 1 and 1. So light will be ahead by 1 force. It's very close.
We know dark side doesn't have their Gick. We saw that in the we saw that drawn for Destiny last turn. So dark side might have to play a little cautiously. Especially since he probably knows that Luke is coming down to Rogue One next turn and will take out most likely his crown.
Yeah, they shouldn't take any overflow, though, with 10 forfeit.
No, but he might want to spend some resources reinforcing it just so he doesn't lose.
Maybe. I feel like any resources lost would or resources used would just be lost as well. I feel like Luke can just keep battling. It lets him survive an extra turn on the ground, but I think Bastion's fine paying 3 to drain. The main thing is it blocks an extra drain of 1 at the docking bay.
Yeah. If you have a Tarkin, do you play that proactively so that you're drawing 2 and hopefully can clear Luke out? I don't know.
Possibly, though. Once dark abandons indoor, I think light will move there, and then Tarkin will be capped anyway from the light side Admiral's order.
True.
If that Admiral's order wasn't on table, I would say a Tarkin would be a good play to dissuade Luke, because it could crack less than 6. Of course, it'll only be less than 3 right now until that garrison comes out. We did see, though, Tarkin drawn as one of the super laser destinies, so it is not in hand at the moment. So no Mianda and ship and gun. Bastion's missing some of those components. We know the ship is down towards the bottom of his force pile. But otherwise, we'll see. Adam will get another turn to move this, and then if Mianda comes down next turn, can double move and shoot.
And Adam doesn't have much way of stopping Mianda if he does come down. I don't think EBO typically runs barriers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. I think Bastion's happy to just stack Kashyyyk, take 2 damage, and focus on piecing together that Nianda package. Has he used Force Push yet, or Tarkin's Bounty?
Neither.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, if you can draw into one of those here, you can put together that package easier. It's a little tempting. So you move Slave 1, you move Saber 1 to Kashyyyk. It's a little tempting to leave Black 2 because you have the Decree if you want to draw a Destiny with it if he comes down. And then Light has to waste resources over there. But you probably just want its forfeit over at Kashyyyk. But the nice thing is, then if you leave it and Light does just pile on Kashyyyk thinking I need to take this to win the game, then it just sits there draining for 2 more. Dylan says he'd leave Saber 1. I would not, because Saber 1 only gets 1 Destiny because it adds 1 and he doesn't have enough for ability. So either way, you're getting 1. I'd rather put Black 2 and pop it and leave Saber 1 over at Kashyyyk for the extra Destiny over there. Oh, Black 2 does get an extra subtract with Vader. So Dylan's saying he'd rather have the extra -2 than the extra Destiny over there. Yeah, okay. I see that.
Plus, I feel like EBO, I mean, yeah, Adam's running low on ships, but it can stack power so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Bastian wants to start getting picked apart at this point.
Yeah, he can just pile it all. For the moment.
Yeah, I like leaving 2 at each system. Either stack them all at 1, or if you're gonna
don't stay vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know though. I don't think that's enough at Kashyyyk. Your power 12, Light's already 17, can add more, and yeah, you can hit that capital with Rey. So you're going to kill the Corvette and Rey, but if they get up to power 30 versus your 12 and, plus Destiny each, and you have another snub to limit.
You're subtracting 2 from one of those Destinies. Maybe Bastian's thinking, look, EBO has pretty low Destinies in general. I can lose a couple, 1, maybe 2 guys, and if he does have another Kenton, maybe he just picks one back up and says net positive.
Yeah.
If you're going to put resources into stopping me at my system. Because all Bastian really... I mean, obviously Bastian doesn't want to get blown out, but if he can just keep some presence there, he's doing 3 damage.
Mm-hmm. 3 damage there. Drain 2 over at Endor. Start putting on more damage. Yeah. Guess it depends on how many ships Light has in hand right now. So he drains 1 and 1. EPP Maul goes lost from hand. And
so much is going to come down to whether or not he gets Nianda down.
Echo Base Garrison was pulled this turn. Yeah. At the beginning of this turn, he used New Secret Base and pulled Echo Base Garrison. And then he activated Raid and drained. So
he saved 3 Destinies, so that probably means Luke is coming down. There he is. He'll draw 2, and maybe he attacks at Kashyyyk. But I don't know. I don't know if it depends if he has more ships, obviously.
Yeah, obviously if you attack right now, you're only outpowering by 5. He gets more Destinies. He can shoot someone. It's Oh, yeah. That would be a blowout. Jared says he needs that 3rd Destiny for his movement Destiny. If he forgets that, it blows up.
Yep.
Yep. So no space battle. Yeah, so, I mean, even if Light clears ground here by totaling 7 in Battle Destiny, which I don't think they will. I think they're 2 Destinies. I don't know. It could be better than that, but if they're 2 Destinies are 6 or less, only Gerard goes, and Dark can still drain free. But if he does, even if he does clear both, Dark just pays 3 to drain it indoor. Does 3 with the purple card.
Sure. I gotta go on mute for a sec.
Okay. Dylan says he was playing a Corona Cup match versus Alex One, and he wanted. Apparently, they were playing the same match or something else where Dylan was TTO and Alex One had Ahsoka in at Sector 1 to try and go blow it up, and We're Doomed was his last card in reserve, and Alex wanted that card to loop, and so he 3PO'd for it, and then Ahsoka blew herself up. Oh, he was Yavin 4 operations. All right, well, I think Adam is in a tough spot here. He's doing 2 damage. There's an Obi in Radiant 7. Does he have a ship that can carry a Starfighter yet? No, he does not. That's tough not having any capitals that can do that, because otherwise, like if Spiral could, I would say you deploy Obi in there, you move Spiral over, disembark him, move him in, and you move Tycho in, and you just start sending multiple ships in. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you have to win in space. Yeah, I think Adam's not quite sure what to do either, because he's taken a long time thinking on this deploy phase. After that Luke, there was a 3-minute gap until that Obi came out. He's going to take 5 damage next turn unless he's at both of the systems. And without a second snub fighter and no Admiral for leadership, Dark would draw 3 destinies here. And 2 here. Yeah, I mean, there was some speculation this was not a great matchup for Light, but for Dark for TTO, but I think Bastian's happy with how this is turning out. They both have 15 life force right now and 7 in hand, so they're exactly even. Ooh, we got a B-Wing bomber. That's clearly a Tarn missing card. But right now it's just a Power 4 card. More
and a snub.
Snub, good point. More importantly, I think for it, you don't even really care about Tarn that much. You just start hitting his ships. Vader will subtract, but
yeah, weapons are certainly a possibility. I mean, I feel like
he has to have weapons if he's playing a B-Wing bomber, because he'll have Tarn. You wouldn't play that ship otherwise.
I could justify it just being a Power 4 ship that is another B-Wing that, works with ballistics and, the A-Wings and some of these other things. But yeah, that would definitely, seem to suggest he's got that possibility.
All right, so we got a ground battle. I think we're just gonna see destinies here. Bastian's gonna set for stun Luke. That's sort of weird to me, because even if you've got attract 5, which he didn't, even if he had attract 5 to bounce Luke and end the battle, I feel like there are much better uses for stun, including a potentially enhanced EBO drain or someone in battle. But maybe he has a 6 tract and he needed to get the 2 off the top. All right, there's effective repairs. Lintra, and he uses the dark time, which I would be saving for the blow. If you're Light, I think you grab that dark time.
I'm really surprised he used that there.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, I don't know what the set for stun was. That's weird. Justin thinks he shouldn't have gone to the Death Star split like that. the best play would have been for Light to just drop 50 power and sit at the TTO system and chase Dark and out damage.
I imagine Adam probably will move Ray over to the Y wing, and if that's the case, he probably just was like, I don't want to lose Ray at this point.
Well, yeah, I don't think he could have battled there. I don't.
Wait, what is Justin saying?
He's saying earlier in the game when Adam split over the Masanya ship over to the Death Star, he shouldn't have gone to the Death Star. He should have just kept everyone together, moved them all, except for, one ship with Haven, but moved them all in front of Kashyyyk, which wasn't out at the time, but whatever the TTO system would be, just get 50 power there and just pile a bunch of ships. Don't split up to go over to the Death Star with Masanya. Like that play put him behind enough by him losing Masanya and 2 pilots versus Bastion's nothing. That was sort of a potentially fatal error.
Right, because right now everything.
Dylan says TTO would just move back and forth between Hoth, which is true, and you'd be chasing his Light, and eating 3 purple card damage. But when they run, you'd be draining 3 with EBO, or 4 here at Kashyyyk. If the possibly satisfy resistance. But then spread to other systems while chasing with the bulk of your fleet. But he just doesn't have a big enough pile of stuff right now to do that. Goldenrod was played. I don't know why. I mean, it stops like a Saber 4 react, but Saber 4 would only react over at Endor, and Emperor's Shuttle make Bastion pay 2 more. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, he's splitting up a little more. Let's see if that. All right, so he's gonna go do his movement destiny. It is not a 0.
He obviously knew that was there, but still, I don't want to see that 2 in there.
I also. Right, because if you draw it and Bastion has the Dark Time, I just think that was such a waste of a Dark Time. Did he make it so that he only had to lose 1 guy? Was it on the second Destiny, and so he only had to lose 1 character? Is that what it was?
Yeah, because he drew a 4 and a
4 and a 3. Okay. So he played it so that he'd still have ground presence here, but it nets you 1 turn of free drains. Like, I feel like I'd rather be holding the Dark Time and just pay 3 to drain. Personally.
Well, right, because him blowing up the Death Star is his path to a big differential. Otherwise, they're going to grind each other down. And
right. And
Adam
if he tracks a 5, you can make it an extra turn. Yeah, take a turn longer. He won't have a 6 to track. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the Dark Time was a sketchy call, and I think the set for stun was really weird too.
I know. I like to play walkers a lot, and so many times I just have to do this desperation trample, and it never hits. If you haven't, if you have to do a blind trample or a blind set for stun.
But I don't think you needed to do the blind set for stun there. Like it failed, and the battle was still fine for Bastion. So it's desperation where you're like, oh, if this fails, I'm screwed, so I have to go for it. And that it just didn't feel like it was even necessary.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So Adam's still, assuming no Mianda, Adam's still 2 turns away from blowing up the Death Star. So that probably means, 10 more damage, including this turn. So that gets Adam down to like 12 13 by force.
Minus whatever he deploys in those 2 turns.
Game
2 will be tomorrow at this same time, 2:30 Eastern on Wednesday. I don't think we will see any concede in the match because this is obviously not going to be a 28 card blowout or anything like that.
Just to be devil's advocate to Justin Desai, at least by putting a starship at the Death Star, he forces Mianda to go there rather than pick off ships at a system, which against EBO it can do pretty easily.
I just think he split the ships too early. He that Enter the Bureaucrat made him panic and feel like he had to do something to start getting damage on. So he went over to to the Death Star to try and drain there, and Bastion still had the whole Slave 1 package. Whereas if he waits and makes him deploy the Slave 1 package and commit that, and then moves over to the Death Star, I guess he just wanted to get in the sectors as soon as possible, though. So, I don't know. Yeah.
So Adam retrieves 3 force, and now he can start tracking his...
Oh, combined fleet action. Yeah.
So he'll... Yep. So that's pretty big, because that gets around dark time if he gets that back. Or, you know, it gives him enough of a destiny to survive the dark time if he uses that on his destiny draw for to come up with Death Star.
Back when TTO was popular, say in 2009, 2010, it used to play a Omnibox combo so that they couldn't track for blowing it up. But I don't think recent builds have done that I'm aware of. Jared asked if he used Walker Sighting V. That's what he just did. So he first popped Walkling, and then Walker Sighting went over onto Code Clearance. You might have asked that like right before he did that. I don't know. There's no timestamps on the Twitch chat. Mike Turner says Tarkin's Bounty smells like Mienda. Yeah, certainly a piece for it, I think. Probably the gun or shit, whatever it is. I think it's probably a piece of the Mienda combo. Yeah, okay. And Force Push also. So his 3 cards left in hand will probably be Mienda, gun, ship, and Bastion will just go down to 0 in hand. Double move in, shoot Tycho, ending that hope for Adam.
Yeah, I gotta think Bastion was saving that for a long time, just for this very reason.
Yeah, until he could get the whole package put together. Yeah, so that was a good point though, that Mienda being stuck in there means it's not picking off your Gold Leader, your B-Wing, which are capping the Destiny with Blissix, and it'll take him another turn to move to the Death Star, and then another turn to move out to Kashyyyk. So we're looking at 2 more Darkside turns from now that it'll be out shooting stuff.
And in the meantime, Adam can drain to the Death Star because he's not going to waste his shot on the Falcon. Or no, maybe he is.
Yeah, he's going to shoot the Falcon and then double move in and say, all right, next turn, I'll go ahead and just move in after you and shoot you next turn.
Right.
Because it's maneuver 0. It's going to, whatever he draws will hit. He doesn't have to track for it. So, yeah, that's
right. He can move twice and shoot. That's so crazy.
Yeah, that's why a lot of times it just hides there at the Death Star, pops out to the system, shoots someone, and pops back, and just picks off all their stuff.
So yeah,
and it can hit Capitals and Starfighter, like it's any starship. Like it's good.
It's a brutal combo, and you don't for whatever reason you don't see much keep your eyes open anymore, and that's for a while. I was keeping that in my no idea more for preventing starship weapons from Mienda from killing me and move phase more than to prevent. That is a swingy card for this matchup. Whoops.
Hang on, my Discord.
Are we still on?
Yeah, we are. My Discord just went weird for a minute. I think it has a time limit like Zoom does or something, because it does this regularly, like after a call after a while.
Got it. So you can say goodbye to the huge differential, Adam, and maybe we've got 14 life force to 13, so that's still really close. He reinforces ground, so he's not going to clear him this turn either.
And that's really strange to me. I guess he just doesn't want to eat the drain of 1 and wants to drain free, but like paying 3 to drain isn't that bad, and he's losing cards that could be used in space to battle and do stuff. Like
maybe Bastian just sees the writing on the wall and is like, I'm not gonna outlast him in space, so just gonna get my damage in easily while I can. I don't know.
yeah, but now if you're light side, you can just split a ship over to indoor and block that drain.
You know, I wonder if he's running the SFS laser cannons for use with Saber 1. In which case he'd have to move a capital, which he, you know, might be want to do anyway, since it gets it out of the way of the Death Star gun. Okay,
Light's just not getting a lot of damage through. It's just this 1-on-1. That Enter the Bureaucrat has been huge. I mean, that's probably saving 10 force alone.
For the win. And I don't think he's gotten a drain in at Death Star the whole game. Bastian's been doing a great job limiting his damage and keeping his
EBO, not the speeder's version necessarily, but a Tarn Missin version, a lot of times plays Control Tunnel to get their space package set up, and that would be really good to cancel Enter the Bureaucrat. But I think a speeder version that's not Tarn typically does not play Control Tunnels. So
Ray pulls a card.
Yeah, he hasn't done his... Okay, there's his second drain. I mean, Bastian's content to sit here and not battle because he's like, I'm doing 5 to your 2. Adam saved 4 in reserve, which indicates movement destiny. And
well, I think that 6 is sitting on top because he retrieved 3 force, and I'm pretty sure that 4 is a 6. So,
okay, which still only takes out Marigic and the ship, or just Piet. Oh no, it'll draw 2 destiny. All right, so Tantive.
So yeah, he would clear the site if that, because I think it's a 6 and I forget what the other one was, but yeah, it's probably in good shape.
It's got to be a 4 to clear the site because Piet and the ship cover 9. I think it was a 4 though. There was like a barrier, maybe a Commander Luke or something. I'm not sure I like the lone Tantive. See, this is where things went wrong for Adam. I think is he split his ships too early, and then he lost one. So then he didn't ever really have enough to challenge at the system where he's getting 40, 45 power to Dark's 12, because then once he started kind of down in a ship, then he kept doing that where he then plays ships over here to go blow it up, and then a random ship over here, and he's never going to get enough to really challenge in space.
Yeah, EBO's greatest advantage is the threat of just being able to bully any dark side space that comes out. Okay, right. So there's a 4.
I played a Corona Cup game where I was entanglements versus someone's EBO. Why can I not think of who it was?
So yeah, Darkseid had that 6 sitting there, and price Adam pays for clearing his ground is losing his best.
Oh no, yeah.
Speeder pilot.
Yeah.
Could have 2 Lukes, I guess, but he might not need them anymore.
Yeah, and they piled like 50 plus power at the Tatooine system versus entanglements, and I just had to I lost Executor. I just had to keep losing so much forfeit. It was pretty brutal. Though this is harder. There's more systems here, and Dark has more space. But
so now Rogue One is only Oh no, it's still maneuver 6 thanks to Corrin. I was going to say maybe a P59 makes an appearance, but
it's only immune less than 4 though. Garrison, it's not a matching pilot, so Garrison makes it immune less than 4, less than 6 with matching pilot. So if he just draws that 6 again, he clears the whole thing. But he needs someone who could draw a Destiny, which after losing them all from hand, and I mean maybe if he has Grand Moff Tarkin in hand, he could drop him, clear Corrin with a 6, Corrin and the vehicle, and if Light just draws a 3 or less, just lose black 2.
Yeah,
that's a lot
definitely
of
a possibility. And knowing where that 6 is a huge help.
Yeah, for me, I don't know why he landed Piet, because there he essentially just lost it. It saved him 1 turn of a drain of 1 at the docking bay. If he would have just moved Marigic into the bunker, and like he'd still have Piet and black 2 in space, and he would have lost an extra card. Was it worth losing Piet and having black 2 landed there doing nothing to save 1 force loss? I think it's marginal at this point. You are getting down to the point where you're grinding diff because it's going to end soon.
Mm-hmm.
I would
So
say
we have
Yeah. Life
There's
forces. Hey, grabs point, man. Life Force Light has 13 with 4 in hand, and Dark has 11 with 3 in hand.
Also, by
Select.
grabbing that, he can't move Tycho anymore. Maybe he doesn't care. That seemed like
Ooh.
maybe a bit of an oversight.
That's bad, because if Tycho's in at the sector, next turn Mianda has to follow, shoot it, and then move back, and it's still stuck at the middle sector, whereas now it can shoot and double move out, and then the whole Tanev play did nothing.
Yep.
He literally deployed Tanev and had that. It's just going to get blocked. That drain will just get blocked next turn.
Yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't.
JNAP says Bastian played point man during draw phase, so Adam had already
Passed on moving. That seems like a mistake. I think you clearly moved that in to keep Mianda out of the action, because now on Darkseid's turn, Mianda will shoot Tycho and double move and block Tanev's drain. Whereas if it had to move,
Either way, I'm not sure why Adam didn't move him in.
yeah, he should have. I think that was a mistake. Maybe he just forgot about that at that point. I don't know. He's going to eat 5 more. So that will leave Adam with 12 hand in life versus Bastian's 14 hand in life.
So it's good. It's going to be close. It's going to be, 6 or something like that. Yeah, Phil says, sure, he was thinking he knows it'll get shot,
So he didn't bother, didn't want to waste the force. But if you do use the force, you get to threaten that drain at the Death Star of 4, and you make him move a ship in. So now he has Scythe 1 to move and block it.
Yeah, now that Tantive is just a waste.
You pay 1 force and you threaten that drain of 4.
yeah,
Exactly.
The Tanev was a waste, so. Oh, well.
I think he'll realize that after Mianda shoots and then moves out to block it. He's like, oh, if he would have been in there, had to move in to follow.
Okay, so Nar Shaddaa was Adam's second system, which never saw the table, obviously. Just lost. So yeah, I mean, Adam's only going to do 3 damage next turn. And that's assuming he doesn't block the drain at the docking bay. And then, yeah. Bastion's going to do another 5 damage. This is looking a little dire.
If Nar Shaddaa was out, I would have been tempted to just play it and move Obi over there. Like, what's Hoth doing for you? It's a drain of 1. Nar Shaddaa's a drain of 4, but if Bastion gets resistance 2, but it's still more. And then I'd be tempted to just say, all right, you can have Kashyyyk. I'm just going to move, have 1 ship at Hoth, 2 at Nar Shaddaa, pile the rest at Endor. And then either way, he's getting drained 2 in space, whether it's Endor or Kashyyyk. He's taking a drain of 2 in space. So being at Kashyyyk right now is doing him nothing. So if he's going to take 5 either way, you go ahead and leave Kashyyyk, where you can't fight him, obviously, put enough at indoor that he has to go back and reinforce that and spread to the 2 other systems, and you're getting more damage through.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
JNAP said, when did Enter the Bureaucrat come off Hoth?
Totally missed that. I think that must have just happened in order to get the DS612. So it was placed. It was. There was the Luke battle. During the Luke battle, that was Bastion's first action, was to place that use, draw 2, and then that way he could get to the masterful move. He knew where there was a 6 to take out the Luke, so he put it used, drew the 2 off the top, drew the 6.
Mm-hmm.
And Fanfare's not out, so if he wants, he can still pop that and pull it again, but then he'd have to eat a drain of 3, or he can pop resistance. But yeah, I think that drawing 2 also got him 612, which will
give him a little more space power.
So he's still committed to blocking that docking bay drain. So,
well, maybe if he doesn't move up the ship.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he could just be going up. Yep.
So for the 5 damage, we top decked the second Luke, Virgins, Tally, and Lintra. Those were some of the cards retrieved earlier, and then he loses Narshada and effective repairs from hand. Yeah, I think he should be
split into the Narshada into the indoor and trying to get more damage through.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he saved 1 destiny, and that's to shoot down Tycho.
Yep.
So I mean, yeah, I guess Adam could try and tack into Scythe 1, but Scythe 1's going to be drawing a destiny from the Death Star in TTO, and has a gun to shoot. So, 2 weapons to shoot actually with the super laser and the Anda. So that doesn't seem like a great idea.
Right, because
he's probably not going to be getting a ton of damage in. I mean, I
think he was thinking that Tanev that Bastion doesn't have any more ships, and Tanev would get a drain or force Saber 1 in, or force one of the ships over from Kashyyyk, which means he'll weigh out power there. He just forgot about the Mianda double move in to block it. It would have been a good play if Tycho had moved in, or if he was splitting off to Narshada right now. Yeah, so Mianda's going to shoot it. A 7 is greater than its maneuver of 0.
Yeah, 9 works.
And does it add 2? Mianda adds 2 or something?
Yeah, Mianda adds 2.
2 to the total, yeah. Yeah.
Because, what's better than shooting in move phase and then moving twice? Why don't you add 2 to the destiny for each weapon? So.
Okay. And let's make sure it's both capitals and starfighters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that blocks
So,
that.
I don't know. Adam's got to break through somewhere.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, is he going to land Scythe to...
No, I think he's going to take off Black 2. Or maybe he'll leave it. He'll pop Decree. Yeah, he'll leave it. He'll pop Decree. And hope that Light just draws a 3 or less so he can just lose the ship.
Yeah. Well, he's still taking battle damage then.
Yeah, but he'll get a Destiny 2. He's power 3 with the indoor system to 5, and they'll both get a Destiny. And then he'll have Black 2's 3 forfeit. So
I see what you're saying.
If he draws a 3 or less, it'll be 8 power to 3 plus Destiny and forfeiting for 3. As long as Dark draws a 2, he's not taking any overflow. Yeah, this is Bastions to lose.
So, I mean, you're not... Maybe he has another character to reinforce the docking bay, but feels like clearing him off the docking bay isn't all that great. He can still pay for the drain in space. He's still doing 3 damage at the system. You got... Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Bastion... the other advantage to being at the docking bay is Bastion got to pull resistance, so he'll block the drain of 1. He'll cap the Hoth drain to 2 this turn, and potentially if Light draws low, draws a 3 or less, he survives there for another turn.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything Adam can do. I mean, does he move his ships to Endor and put pressure on there to force him off of Kashyyyk a little bit?
If the Narshada was out, I would say yes. You split one, like, yeah. But moving over to Endor, I don't know what that does for you if you're not setting up more damage. Because I mean, but if you don't move, next turn Mienda pops out and shoots down like Gold Leader. I guess it'll shoot down Tanev.
Yeah. Yeah. Shooting down Obi isn't. I mean, I guess it's the same difference. Shooting down Tantive versus shooting down Obi.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to leave Tanev alone at the Death Star, so shooting it down.
Okay, so he moves Saber over.
Because he wants to keep Baron. Or, I mean, he wants to keep Mienda in the gun, and if Light can drop something and get a Battle Destiny and clear that off, he knows if he can just keep picking off ships, he's happy.
Yeah, that's true.
I think here, then, you take off Black 2. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, next turn he'll only do 3 damage.
He did not, though. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I like that.
I don't know if I do either. I think that was a mistake. Because now he does only 3 damage, buys Adam another turn or 2.
I mean, he didn't want to lose Mienda. He wanted to block that drain with Mienda, and then he didn't want Adam to just get a Destiny and clear Mienda. He wanted that gun to keep doing its thing every
But Mienda's drawing a Destiny from the sector, or is it TTO?
Yeah, the second sector.
The second sector. So
it's drawing a Destiny, yeah, but they're trading, and he wants to keep the Mienda alive so that it can just shoot every move phase. Phil points out, since it's a Tantive, Bastion's satisfying resistance. If it had been any other ship he had played there, he would not be satisfying resistance.
Yes, this is true. But now, man, it's going to be interesting to see what Adam does. He needs to he obviously wants to clear him off the ground.
Well,
so.
I mean, Tanev now can just move over to Endor. Of course, Scythe 1 can come out and shoot. It can't shoot at Endor unless the Death Star moves back there, but it can pop out and shoot something at Kashyyyk, or Death Star can move over to orbit Hoth. It could pop out and shoot it, and then it would cancel Haven, and then he could move his ships over to Hoth, which is a higher drain, and can just as easily TTO damage. And if he's resistance capping the Kashyyyk drain, though he'd have to be at a site to do that. I don't know that he's going to survive site. So he drains for 2 and 1 now, which Maul and Command both from reserve, and Erica from hand. Losing that indoor dream seems big for Bastion. Doing 3 a turn instead of 5. It's going to let Adam stay alive longer to get more damage.
Right, exactly. And now, to pull off the Mienda move, he has to save a total of, I guess, 3 force. To move the Death Star, move Mienda, and fire.
Mm-hmm. And he'll need 1 in reserve. So that's a 4th card. And he's only got 8 in life force.
Yeah.
So that only leaves him 4 force, which... Yeah, if he's...
So yeah, after this turn, I think Adam probably is happy to just move Tantive to Endor so that he guarantees he'll get a drain at one of those systems.
Yeah, I don't know that Bastion is going to move the Death Star and shoot. I think he's just going to shoot down Tanev first and then, like, move out. I think if you shoot down Tanev and then you move Saber 1 and Scythe 1 to Kashyyyk, then you can split over, like, Slave 1 over to Hoth and just block that drain. So right now, Bastion has 10 hand in life and is threatening 3 damage. and Adam has 12 hand in life. So we'll make it down to under 5 cards.
Is that I'm wondering why he saved 2. Maybe he's planning on battling at both locations. Because he only draws 1 battle destiny at Kashyyyk, unless he has a watcher. No, even if he has a watcher back, you're only drawing 1 because of Gold Leader. Okay, yeah, he's just going for the damage now. So that's decent. Now he guarantees he's going to clear some of those guys.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you probably would anyway from outpowering, just because he's capping him to 1 destiny with Blissix, and he's up by 11 power.
Yeah, true enough, true enough. Oh, and he's only drawing 1 anyway because of the snub noses.
Right, because of Blissix.
Yeah.
So there's only a need to save 1.
So yeah, this is looking like a...
Gets 16 total destiny, which is greater than 4. And we'll hit that Corvette.
That's all he'll have to lose, probably, right?
Oh yeah, because they cover 15 forfeit, and Dark's only getting 1 destiny.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually more than Bastian could hope otherwise. So yeah.
Right. Bastian adds a destiny, but he's still capped from Blissix, so.
So this is looking like maybe a... Well, I'm guessing Bastian's going to have to move all his ships over to Kashyyyk to keep the TTO pings in. So maybe he has 3 more turns, so that's 9 more damage.
Light draws a 1 for destiny, which Vader makes a 0. And
yeah, this is good.
Pays for Gold Leader and draws a 4. So he's down by 11. Which is what? Vader and his ship.
Yeah, it's probably...
Because you don't want to lose Fett Ozzel in 1. That seems bad. Or the whole slave 1. I think you lose Vader and his ship here.
Definitely.
And then you have to move Tanev, because otherwise he can just battle you and massively outpower you. You cover 12, he'd 6 and 2 destinies, and we know he has a 7-5 on the bottom. So he'd draw 12, you'd lose Tanev in 6. So you have to move Tanev away. But that means Scythe 1 gets to move out and shoot something else, because it doesn't have to shoot Tanev there. No. And it costs 2 to move Tanev because he chooses to move to indoor. I don't think I like that. I think I would have paid 1 to battle here. I mean, maybe if he knows what his destinies are, if he searches with Garrison or something like that, but Bastion activates 1 with Dark Time. I think I would have paid 1 to battle here and tried to clear that, and then paid 1 to just move the Tanev somewhere free, or for 1. Bastion uses something special to retrieve Vader's ship.
Well, he's going to move Scythe to Endor, take out Tantive, and he's going to move
Baron to Kashyyyk.
Yeah, to reinforce there.
Yeah.
So you'll get so now he'll get his 5 damage in again, and that could
starting next turn. Yeah, three now, which all come from reserve, Bright Hope, Hera, and Leadership, Yeah, and then I think that's exactly, he's got a 7 on top, so I think he's going to move over, shoot Tanev. Or maybe he moves over and shoots a ship at Kashyyyk. Shoots Gold Leader and just whittles him down there, and now he's going to get 3 Destiny. Oh, he's still capped at 1, though, but not if he shoots Gold Leader.
True. That's a good point.
You move Scythe 1 to Kashyyyk.
Oh, it can't move to Indoor either.
Because it doesn't have hyperspeed. It's except Scythe ties.
Yeah,
You'd have to move the Death Star and shut off your TTO damage. Yeah, so you move Scythe, you kill Gold Leader, so you're not capped Destinies there, and you'll be drawing 3. And you move Saber 1 to Indoor to block that drain. You won't.
Yep.
That means you won't get to drain 2 more next turn unless he runs, but... Alright, so Grand Moff Tarkin comes down. Oh, he's going to use a 7 to clear Wedge. Wedge in the
That's big.
Rogue 3.
That's one. That's, yeah,
But that means he can't shoot anything. I'm not sure I like that. I mean, I think... Well...
He could just be blocking it. Yeah, he's just blocking it. He's not actually attacking into it.
Okay.
Because, yeah, right now... Okay, so now he's moving to...
Hoth. He's going to shoot down Obi and Radiant 7, abandon Kashyyyk, and eat a drain of 3 there. Yeah, move Saber 1 to Indoor.
Yep.
So that will kill Obi, cancel Haven. I think Slave 1 will go to Hoth, and Saber 1 will go to Indoor. It could go either way. I don't see it mattering, but I think that would be the better
I definitely
play.
think this is... I think Bastion's in the driver's seat.
For sure. Light's going to get a drain of 2 at Kashyyyk. Okay, he did go the other way. In terms of which...
Yeah, it's only drain of 2 anyway. And that maybe he's doing that. No, I don't know. I guess he could reinforce. He can now go... No, because he wants to stay and drain 2 at Endor once he clears there. So, yeah. Interesting stuff. So, yeah, this is looking like a round 5 victory for Bastion.
Yeah, maybe more than that. Bastion's got 10 in life force, none in hand. Adam's got 6 in life force, 2 in hand, 8, so he can survive 3 turns. Yeah. So he'll do 6 more ostensibly. So Bastion will win by 4. Though by the end, Bastion might block. Just move everything to block, and not take any drains by the end, or maybe just a crown drain of 1. Then he'll win by 5.
Well, I'm gonna have to miss the end of the game. I gotta bounce, but
all right.
This is really fun.
Thanks for coming on. All right, have a good one.
All right, man. You too. Bye.
Just me again.
All by myself.
Yeah, this played out pretty similarly to what we expected, in terms of being a very close under 10 win for either player. They both have to deploy a lot. Light's draining, Dark's doing TTO damage. Yeah, Adam, by splitting his ships up super early, wasn't able to ever really get in the big battle where he massively outpowered, but he's just been doing that steady drains. The Wedge +1 has added up. He's just doing 1 and 1, 1 and 1, while TTO's been doing 3 and a couple at Indoor. Swinging the scales for Bastion. So he drains at Kashyyyk, capped by Resistance, and Masterful Move and Enter the Bureaucrat come off the top. And Adam saved 2 in reserve, so you gotta figure that's... He wants to battle at the ground. these guys often get forgotten. And you want Blissix there because of the capping at 2 Destiny, but this guy's free movement. Your capital starships at Rebel base systems may not be targeted by weapons. So yeah, so he couldn't shoot down Spiral, but he still could shoot down Gold Leader with the Mienda if he does want to do that. So the time on the clock is 7.5 minutes for Adam and 9 minutes for Bastian. So I think though we only have about 2 turns left, we should wrap this up. But Adam's taking his time to think. He might end up with under a minute left, but I don't think he will time out. Bastian said, I hope you're not getting into trouble with your lunchtime with this taking so long. Game 2 is going to be the decider either way, I guess. Adam said, no, it's fine. I guess he's playing this game on a lunch break. Speaking of lunch, I'm hungry. Adam's still thinking. He is in his battle phase now. Did not deploy either of the 2 cards in hand, so clearly they're not super helpful, essential. Or he needs all his force to be able to move. Bastian had more force last turn. It would have been 2 more force. It would have been nice to move in Tarkin. Because then you take away Wedge's drain by having it chase you. But then if you get cleared at the landing platform, you don't have a battleground site or resistance satisfied. In game, so no battles. He just moves. I don't think I like that. Because he's only doing 2 damage, and Bastion's, I mean, unless he moves to Hoth here, Bastion's doing 5. And at least if he cleared off like 612, he could, you know, ping drain at the indoor next turn for an extra 1. But he's going to opt to split up stuff. And I think Bastion's fine with that, because if you're Bastion, you're going to do 5 damage. Move the Death Star, move Mienda to the Death Star to Kashyyyk, move Mienda out, shoot down whatever, doesn't matter. And then maybe probably move Saber 1 over. Maybe not if Adam goes to 0 in hand. We'll see. So he loses Ray from hand, Profundity and Effective Repairs from deck. Oh, and he did have a control. That would have been nice for him to find earlier for Enter the Bureaucrat. So he controls the drain, which saves him a force, makes it a canceled instead of a 2, a 1. He is at exactly 3 life force though. So next turn, Bastian will damage him out just with TTO. So now all Bastian has to do is block all the damage, which is, you know, be it Kashyyyk, be it the Death Star. So you move Mienda to the Death Star, shoot Lightmaker, move the Death Star to Kashyyyk, move Mienda back out, move Saber 1 over there, and now you have literally every damage blocked on the table. And next turn you TTO damage out his last 3. So Bastian will win by 8. Assuming he does the order of operations I just said, which he will. So 5 plus 2 for Mienda is greater than 5. So Lightmaker will die. Death Star will move to Kashyyyk. Mienda will move out. Saber 1 will move over. Bastian will end his turn without drawing. Mienda's good. Saber 1 there.
the Death Star there as well. And then move Mienda out. All right, I think Adam's just going to draw up because you don't want those last 3 in your... Oh, he didn't even bother moving Mienda out, which seems bad. If Adam has a 5, he can crack Baron's immunity, and then TTO will not do any damage because he needs to occupy that system. I think that was a mistake. He's checking his destiny with strike planning. If that's a 5, he can... Do these get a destiny? Is that a... Oh no, that's only ability 1. That's ability 2. Okay, never mind. That's why it didn't matter. Just power 9 to 4. I still don't know why you leave it there though. I mean, even if you're worried about light moving another ship in there, Mienda can always move back and shoot. And further, he only has 3 total, and you're gonna do 3 with TTO. So I don't know why you wouldn't move Scythe 1 out. He saved 3 force. Maybe he wanted for gold leader, but he's only drawn 2 destiny there, so you only need 2 for that. So yeah. Moves to his battle phase. After strike planning, I probably would have activated that last one and then just drawn up. It's less cards. I mean, unlikely you exactly tie, and unlikely that 1 card matters for lost pile, but it's still just the better play right now because you're not going to get any more damage through this game. All right, so you're just thinking about battling. I don't see that it will make any difference. I guess it's something to do. Again, like I said, it's just extra cards in your lost file. I don't know why you don't just draw. So light draws a 4, which even if he did have enough ability here, would not have cracked the immunity. Of course, Bastian might have had to peel to keep it alive. So, but yeah, that B-Wing bomber being... I didn't see any Tarn ever, so the B-Wing being in there just for... I guess it's just another snub fighter for Blissix, but I am surprised there's not a better one than just this generic B-Wing bomber that's just power 4 and does nothing else. But maybe that's the best other snub fighter besides the ones already in here, like Gold Leader and Gold One. I would think R2 and Red 5 would be a better one. It's Destiny 7. I mean, it costs 1 more, but you have so many pilots you can put on it, like Rey and the Admirals, all that stuff, that like I would think Air 5 as a snub fighter would be better than the B-Wing bomber. But all right, so that battle killed Tarkin. Stream kind of petered out once this game got down to under 10 cards, and it was writing was on the wall in terms of Bastian just TTO damaging him out. Battle's on the ground. Bastian's gonna pop Decree. I mean, even if he didn't have Decree, he'd be power 5 to 2, which is 3 difference. He'd just lose the ship. But I don't know. I think he's just like, what? Let me just make moves that I can do, even if they don't help me. All right. So, Darkseid wins the battle by 1. Oh, and Light is not immune because he drew a 4, and it is immune less than 4 because Corrin is not a matching pilot for it. So now Dark can also drain 1 there. But TTO damage will end the game right here with Adam just having 3 more cards in Lost. He did put 1 more Darkseid card in Lost, but he put Corrin and 3 of his own life force. So he added 4 to his Lost pile to add 1 to Bastion's. I don't know. All right, GG. Bastion by 8. Game 2 will be tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern, same time as this. And 8 is a very doable number, so it'll be interesting to see who's going to advance. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow, hopefully.